Dr. Goenka, I want to understand from you, because the government's now putting a lot of the onus on the private sector. How does Mahindra and Mahindra respond to what the government has announced when it comes to deep cuts in corporate taxes?
So Rahul, press Mr. Bhargava a little more. I want to find out whether there will be price reduction or not, because I have to follow
He's
the big brother.
He's indicated in 2 days there will be good news coming.
Okay, so I'll wait for 2 days because I have to follow the big brother. Whatever he does, we have to do. Okay.
Will you be under pressure to do even more?
So let's peel the onions a little bit. Of course, what was announced recently has given us a little bit of headroom in terms of what we can do as OEMs. It's not that we have not been doing anything. If you look at the discounts that are available today, they are amongst the highest that I have seen in a long time, no matter which company it is. Right? Auto companies are investing on marketing, they're investing on discount, they're investing on many other customer-related things. Now, we have a little bit more headroom, and if I do a rough calculation, we probably, for the same PBIT, have about 5% more PAT. About 5% more PAT. So even if we were to pass on 100% of it to the discount, then we can reduce 5%. If we were to pass on 100%, we can reduce 5%. Is 5% going to be enough to get the demand back to bring the animal spirit back? I'm not so sure. We have already reduced 5-6%. In trucks, you won't believe the discount is 20% already. So and from 20%, if you increase 5%, I don't know how much.
That's a very good point you make, and I want to come to that, and I'll start with Mr. Piramal, because corporate India says it's not discounts that are the problems. Maruti, Mahindra and Mahindra go elsewhere. Inventory is piling up, 5 lakh vehicles with dealers at this time. It's because there isn't demand. Consumption is down. 5% extra discount, argues Dr. Goenka, won't solve the problem. This is not a magic bullet. How do you view this?
So first, I think what's been done on the corporate tax is something which I could not ever believe it would happen, and it's a great thing. And so it's really what was needed. As important as the benefit of saving of tax is also the confidence that business and industry is getting, that the government is listening, government is aware that there are issues and are willing to solve it and go all out. So it was a very brave step. But what more needs to be done? I think it is really to spur demand. Mr. Kant made a very important point that this whole crisis started in exactly a year ago, actually on the 23rd of September, when ILFS failed to give only 102 crores. There was a mutual fund that they could not meet their obligations. And then the whole 2.5 trillion economy actually has been suffering since then. And that is what we need to understand and see how we can tackle this issue of liquidity. It's not a question of, it's not that companies are failing, but there is not enough liquidity. And if you don't have liquidity, you will not get immediate demand. Mr. Kant has made very important points. We had 3 doses of liquidity given. The importance of NBFCs has been mentioned by the Prime Minister, by Finance Minister, by RBI Governor. But just for facts, the amount of liquidity which was given to NBFCs since till July was less by 4,500 crores. So we have not actually passed it on. The RBI has done a lot of releasing funds, but it has not gone on into the NBFCs. If they don't go into the NBFCs, which are the key to whether it is for consumer durables, whether it is for automobiles, whether it is for housing, if these are not there, how will we
so let me put that question to Mr. Kant, because the lack of consumption has been one of the key problems. The Indian GDP growth engine was largely firing because of consumption amongst the top 100 million. That's now stalling. I want to show you from the RBI report that came out recently on consumer confidence, how consumer confidence is now in the negative. This after the Modi government won an emphatic majority in May. despite that, in the build-up, consumer confidence was up. After that, consumer confidence is down. Corporate India and economists would argue, just by reducing corporate taxation, you don't do enough to address the principal issue of generating consumer confidence and reviving demand. Respond to that.
So Rahul, if you were to look at the first 3 doses of the economic boosters, several measures were taken both for NBFCs and an additional 20,000 crores for housing finance companies, etc. Now, I'm a great believer that consumer demand works around sentiments. And what the government has tried to do with the 4th one, it's not about just liquidity. There's adequate liquidity in the market. The sentiments for purchase are not there. And what the government has tried to do is to break that sentiment.